Patch day is here, guys. The storm warning patch has been just released, so let's take a look on some of the changes that they did from the dev server, and of course show a little bit more that I didn't show in the dev server. Of course, this is always the first video of the day. Normally the patch day video is the one that I don't show the new aircraft, for example. I just show the changes that they did from the dev. Of course, I will be covering the new aircraft flying around and everything in the upcoming hours and days and stuff, so make sure to subscribe to see that, okay? So yeah, let's start. We are already super cruising with this amazing cockpit of the Eurofighter. Look at this baby. I mean, it looks amazing. Oh my god, this thing is my new favorite aircraft of the game, maybe. But yeah, let's get to the hangar to see some of the changes that we had from the dev, okay? The first thing, guys, is that the SU-27 SM just got buffed. Not only that, some of the flankers got buffed as well, but the SU-27 SM is the most buffed one. Why? Because it got the AL-31F M1, the same engine as in the SU-34, if I'm not mistaken, and yeah, it produces a lot more power, around 10 kilonewtons, 9 kilonewtons more. It's not, I mean, it's not a lot, but it's substantial. With this, you will have around 18, 20 kilonewtons more with two engines. But remember, guys, these engines, they tend to produce almost the same power as the original AL-31Fs in higher speeds, where it actually shines in the lower air speeds, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So it's pretty interesting that the SU-27 SM now can out-accelerate more, the normal SU-27. So it's pretty interesting, actually, the aircraft. And you will notice also that the little thing over here, the animation of the engine, it is different. So if you take a look, it is the same as in the SU-34, right? Because it is the same engine. So very, very cool. Another thing that they changed with the flanker is that they buffed the flankers in the turning capabilities. Yes. Most of the flankers that we have in the game right now will turn more, so I will do a video like doing dogfights and stuff, but I gotta say, you do feel that they are turning a little bit more. They feel a little bit more nimble. I forgot to add to the lineup, and then I would use my ace pilot, but yeah, you can see that I'm being able to turn like 13 Gs at more than 1,000 kilometers per hour. You will notice that you can maintain more speed because of the because of the new engines. Oh my god, my pilot is just passing out. So as you see, yeah, you can turn a lot more. It feels like you are turning a lot more, right? And of course, even if you use the full real controls over here to be able to do a Cobra, for example. Hold up. Oh, it wasn't the best Cobra ever, but you will feel that it can pull a little bit more. It feels like it is a more controllable aircraft, and you will turn a little bit more, which is pretty cool, man. So the flankers are buffed, so they do turn more. They have more power in the SM specifically. So it's just a very, very interesting aircraft to fly in right now. Not 14.0, but it's still pretty good, right? So let's keep it going. Another change that they added is some additions for, like some aircraft received like more air-to-ground weapons. Finally, the ASM, as you see over here, I'm gonna buy it, but you can get the ASMs for the RMV, right? So where are they? Maybe there's not a pylon for them. But yeah, you can take the ASMs over here with the RMV, which is pretty interesting because it is a bomb or missile or whatever you want to call it that was used by the RMV in real life. And yeah, it's pretty good. The TV and laser guided versions are amazing. They're really, really good. They have a very, very long range. And yeah, it's just a very interesting missile and or bomb or whatever you want to call it, right? Another thing that was added, I already tested with the ASM, but this one I didn't. So let's get to the test flight over here. But the F-15E and the F-111F, they both received the AGM-130A, which is basically a GBU-15 with a rocket propellant. So yeah, I wonder how much range this thing has, but it works in the same way. As you see, it's a TV system, so of course we can use the pod over here. So I'm gonna try to lock it, and then you lock it up. It didn't turn the engine. Oh, okay. Oh my god, that takes some time to burn up the engine, right? But yeah, it's basically a GBU-15 as you see, but with a rocket propelled assistance over here, which makes it be a lot better to have a lot more range. It was already a pretty good bomb, now it's a pretty good missile. It's heavy, it's not gonna turn too much or anything like that, but it's still pretty interesting, right? So yeah, you can see it right there. Very large bomb, has a lot of TNT, but now it has a rocket propellant. So yeah, it's a very, very interesting weapon for the F-15 and for the F-111. So yeah, the F-111 is one that I kind of was surprised, but in real life, it did use it as well. So you can kind of see right there. Let me buy it just to show to you guys how it becomes over here. Where is it? Here. So you can see they're pretty heavy, right? They have 578 kilograms of TNT equivalent, so they're pretty good. And look at their launch range, 70 kilometers, man. I'm gonna test that in another video, but yeah, it's just a pretty good weapon. The Kurnas is another one that received a new weapon, the Kurnas 2000 over here. Yeah, has the GBU-15. The normal one, if I'm not mistaken, is the B variant. Let me see, where is it? Where is it? Here. It's the V1B. So yeah, just a normal one, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember if it has differences between them, but yeah, anyway, a GBU-15 for the Kurnas, which is pretty good. Some additions for the Tornado GR4, which are pretty interesting. It actually now can take more brimstones. As you see, you can take the brimstones under the wing pylons now, so you can take 6 more weapons over here, way better than using the GBUs, right? So because you can take more of them and they basically do the same. So yeah, you can take, how many are these? I don't know, 15. So yeah, a lot of bombs. And of course they added the BOL pods together with the pylons, right, together with the AIM-9s over here. So you can take now 320 plus, it's 800 countermeasures, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, the Tornado GR4 is pretty interesting. Another interesting thing is that, I don't know if they did this before, you can tell me, but they added another roll over here when needed of modifications. So this is pretty interesting. I don't know if this was added already for other vehicles, but yeah. Some aircraft are no longer considered the top vehicle, you know, so they're gonna be like lowered in the in some of the stuff of the battle ratings to the grind and stuff, and also they're not gonna be able to get the bonus, if I'm not mistaken. So the F-14 is one, for example. The German MiG-29G, I think this was already in the dev, but anyway, so there are some vehicles out there that are not with the arrow over here, the Harrier, the Sea Harrier, or they're not considered top of the line anymore, which means they're normally cheaper with the modifications, which is pretty good. Some other changes that I didn't show to you guys in the dev server, but they were in the dev server, is, for example, the F-16AM for France and F-16A MLU for China. They do have a ground mode now with the radar. It is a GMTI, so as you see right there, search GMTI, so the target needs to be moving for you to detect it. But it is pretty interesting to have, like, in such an old in the game radar, you know, it's a radar that not a lot of people care about too much, and now you have a way of detecting these targets. And let's see if I can, is it moving? Maybe it's this target, I don't know. Anyway, you get the idea, right? It's a ground moving target indication, so a pretty interesting thing for the F-16. It's a small thing, but interesting thing. You can see the new loading screen, which is amazing. Look at this. Oh my god. One of the best loading screens ever. Another thing is that you can now see your missile on the radar screen of some of your AAs. I don't know if you can see it on the radar scope there, but yeah, we have an indication of where the missile is, which is pretty useful to know if the missile already passed the target that you are going to be targeting or not, right? So it's it's different, and it really does help a little bit. The Panzer, the Flak Panzer 1, the Flak Rad, the XM975, the Olazas, the Panzers, the Tunguskas, the ITO. So a lot of these, they are just having that. So for example here, if I fire the missile, and I can see where the missile is going, right? If it passed the target, I can know. So for example here, it is going to pass the target, and I can already see on the scope that it passed it, so I can fire another missile, for example. It is a small thing, but it is an interesting thing that helps you with your AA systems, if he has that, right? I don't know how different this will be, but the Crisantema now has a search MTI mode in the radar, which is pretty interesting when targets are moving and stuff. So I don't know, it's just kind of weird, but you do have a new mode for the radar there for you to actually get a target with your missiles, right? And eventually with your missiles, with your radar, right? But yeah. And then two little things, guys. I'm not gonna talk too much about it, but the first thing is that, where is it? The Panzerhaus 2000A1, I don't think was added for the Italians, a normal vehicle, just as the HU. As a premium, so there is that. It was in the files, but anyway, the Fab 3000 was added for the SU-34, right? And yeah, let me test this thing because it is a pretty interesting bomb. So now we have that bomb that is being used right now in a certain war, right? So yeah, see, and they fix it. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So the bomb like automatically drops, and then he flips, and then he opens its wings and it will fly to the target, and it's flying much better than what it was in the dev server. So yeah, the bomb is fixed, and I will be doing a video using these bombs. It's just a pretty large bomb. I have to try to use it. It's a GPS guided one, so it's not like made for targets that are not moving or moving and stuff. So but it's pretty cool, right? You have the non-guided version as well. It doesn't matter, it's a Fab 3000. It doesn't even need to hit the target properly. It's gonna explode everything near the target. It's just a crazy weapons, and it's now working. Yeah, pretty good. There's some interesting changes to the game. I'm gonna do a video about the HQ-17, but yeah, the Tor now is an 11.0 vehicle instead of 11.7, and the HQ is 11.3, so very low BRs. Of course, the missiles are still, they're not a Panzer-like, but it's still one of the best missiles in the game for AA system. So I kind of am scared of this BR, but yeah, it makes sense. They said they're gonna add better AAs for everybody, and they are starting with the Chinese. And the last thing that I wanted to show to you guys that I didn't show in the dev server is the new RWR indications for some RWRs in the game, especially the SPO-15 Berioza for the Russians. Now it has an indication of if the target is flying lower or higher than you. So let me try to show with an AA system trying to lock onto me over here. I need to fly lower, hold up. So as you see right there on the RWR, it shows a half circle below you, for example. So it's showing that the target is below your aircraft. If you put the nose down, for example, it will appear as it's upwards to the aircraft, right? So it is pretty interesting. For now, only the SPO-15, if I'm not mistaken, has that. I guarantee that we will have that in other aircraft as well, okay? Which is pretty interesting. Some other little things were added, like for example an indication of attitude of the target in the HUD for you that play simulator battles, for example in the SU-27. Let me get a lock. But you can see right there in the ATK over there, there's an arrow, so it's showing where the target is going. We have on the actual target indication there, the difference in altitude below the square there, right? So minus 1 kilometer, so it's below me by 1 kilometer. So yeah, very cool, right? And these are the main changes that we had from the dev server. Of course, we have more, but I will be covering them slowly, showing each vehicle, okay, guys? So I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe. See you guys on the next one. Leave a like, leave a comment. I know it's a long video and I'm talking too much, but yeah, bear with me while I show everything. And yeah, see you guys on the next one, and bye. See ya.